Hey everyone, I'm continuing on with a habit that I started yesterday, and that's going to be sharing a few minutes of my personal development reading with you to help you understand the power of personal development and how you can change your mindset and achieve anything that you want. I think that the biggest deterrent for a lot of people is they have ideas of what they want to accomplish, their dreams, their hopes, their wishes, their goals, and they don't understand how usually people don't just start at A and end up at Z over the course of a minute or an hour or a week. That this is a process of getting there, that you have to have a pipeline to get there. And the biggest thing is to achieve extraordinary things, you really need to set small goals that lead you up to your big goal. And also the other thing is that you really need to enjoy the journey along the way. So I started reading The Compound Effect again yesterday. I shared something that I think can help couples really renew their relationship and learn to appreciate one another. And even if you are not married or dating anybody and don't have a significant other, this applies with your relationship with your children and with your friends or your coworkers, anybody, is to really start appreciating the good in people, because it's so easy to gravitate towards the negative. So I wanted to talk about this part that I'm going to read to you in The Compound Effect, because this really falls in line with what I do for a living, and that's helping people achieve their health and fitness and weight loss goals. And there's so many people. In fact, yesterday I talked to somebody who said that over the course of the time they wanted to go from a little over 200 pounds down to 130. Well, that's a great goal, and I encourage everybody to set this goal, whatever it is. But it's so easy if you just say I want to lose 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 pounds to get complacent with a 1 pound weight loss a week that is really healthy and realistic. Sometimes people lose more, especially in the beginning when they jump started their eating habits and everything. But if you set unrealistic goals of, by the end of a program, I want to lose, 80 pounds, that's not going to happen. And if you do, I would be very greatly concerned to, see somebody lose that much weight in, the course of, maximum 90 days. So I really encourage her to, let's set goals for what you want to accomplish with this program. This is your first program. And so she's like, oh, okay, I get that. She's like, that's probably, in my best interest. And so this kind of talks about it, because I see so many people who, especially if you're in one of my challenge groups, there's some people who their circumstances are different. They just started their journey, whereas somebody else is already 3 months in and they don't see the weight loss or the changes that somebody else is, and they get discouraged and want to quit. So I wanted to share this with you, and I was going to share it with all my challenge groups today. It says 3 friends. Let's take 3 buddies who all grew up together. They live in the same neighborhood with very similar sensibilities. Each makes around $50,000 a year. They're all married and have an average health and body weight, plus a little bit of that dreaded marriage flab. Friend number 1, let's call him Larry, plods along doing what he's always done. He's happy, or so he thinks, but he complains occasionally that nothing ever changes. Friend number 2, Scott, starts making some small, seemingly consequential positive changes. He begins reading 10 pages of a good book per day and listening to 30 minutes of something instructional or inspirational on his commute to work. Scott wants to see changes in his life, but doesn't want to fuss over it. He recently read an interview with Dr. Oz in Success Magazine and chose one idea from the article to implement in his life. He's going to cut 125 calories from his diet every day. No big deal. We're talking a cup of cereal less, trading that can of soda for a bottle of seltzer, switching from mayo to mustard on a sandwich. Doable. He's also started walking a couple of thousand extra steps per day, less than a mile. No grand acts of bravery or effort, stuff anyone could do, but Scott is determined to stick with these choices, knowing that even though they're simple, he could easily be tempted to abandon them. Friend number 3, Brad, makes a few poor choices. He recently bought a new big screen TV so he can watch more of his favorite programs. He's been trying out the recipes he's seen on the Food Channel. The cheesy casseroles and the desserts are his favorite. Oh, and he installed a bar in his family room and added 1 alcoholic drink per week to his diet. Nothing crazy. Brad just wants to have a little more fun. At the end of 5 months, no perceivable differences exist among Larry, Scott, or Brad. Scott continues to read a little bit every night and listen to his audios during his commute. Brad's enjoying life and doing less. Larry keeps doing as he always has. Even though each man has his own pattern of behavior, 5 months isn't long enough to see any real decline or improvement in their situations. In fact, if you charted the 3 men's weights, you'd see a rounding error of 0. they look exactly equal. At the end of 10 months, we still can't see noticeable changes in any of their lives. It's not until we get into the end of the 18th month that the slightest differences are measurable, and in these friends' appearances. But at month 25, we start seeing really measurable, visible differences. At month 27, we see an expansive difference. And by month 31, the change is startling. Brad is now fat while Scott is trim by cutting simply 125 calories a day. In 31 months, Scott has lost 33 pounds. So over 31 months, 940 days times 125 calories a day ends up being 117,500 calories. 117,500 calories divided by 3,500 calories per pound is 33.5 pounds. Brad ate only 125 calories more a day in the same time frame and gained 33.5 pounds. Now he weighs 67 pounds more than Scott, but the differences are more significant than weight. Scott's invested almost 1,000 hours reading good books and listening to self-improvement audios. By putting his newly gained knowledge into practice, he's earned a promotion and a raise. Best of all, his marriage is thriving. Brad? Well, he's unhappy at work, and his marriage is on the rocks. And Larry? Well, Larry's pretty much exactly where he was 2.5 years ago, except now he's a little more bitter about it. The phenomenal power of the compound effect is simple. The difference between people who employ the compound effect for their benefit compared to their peers who allow the same effect to work against them over time is inconceivable. It looks miraculous, like magic or quantum leaps. After 31 months, or even 31 years, the person who uses the positive nature of the compound effect appears to be an overnight success. But in reality, his or her profound success was just a result of small, smart choices completed consistently over time. The results in the example seem dramatic, I know, but it goes deeper than that. The reality is that even one small change can have a significant impact and causes an unexpected and unintended ripple effect. Let's put one of Brad's bad habits under the microscope, eating rich food more frequently, to better understand how the compound effect can also work in a negative way and create a ripple effect that impacts your entire life. Brad makes some muffins from a recipe he learned from the Food Channel. He's proud and his family loves it and seems to add value all around. He starts making them and other sweets frequently. He loves his own cooking and eats more than his share, but not so much that anyone notice. However, the extra food makes Brad sluggish. At night, he wakes up a little groggy, which makes him more cranky. The crankiness and sleep deprivation begin to impact his work performance. He's less productive and as a result gets discouraging feedback from his boss. By the end of the day, he feels dissatisfied with his job and his energy level is way down. The commute home seems longer and more stressful than ever. All of this makes him reach out for more comfort food. Stress has a way of doing that. Their overall lack of energy makes Brad less likely to take walks with his wife like he used to. He just doesn't feel like it. She misses their time together and takes his withdrawal personally. With fewer shared activities, with his wife, and an absence of fresh air and exercise, Brad's not getting the endorphin release that he had that helped make him feel upbeat and enthusiastic. Because he's not as happy, he starts to find fault in himself and others and stops complimenting his wife, and his own body starts to feel flabby. He feels less confident, less attractive, and less romantic. Brad doesn't realize how his lack of energy and affection toward his wife affects her. He just knows that he feels funky. He starts losing himself in late-night TV because it's easy and distracting. Feeling his distance, Brad's wife starts to complain, then becomes needy. When that doesn't work, she emotionally withdraws to protect herself. She's lonely. She pours her energy into work and spends more time with her girlfriends to fulfill her need for companionship. Men start flirting with her, which make her feel desirable again. She would never cheat on Brad, but he has a feeling something's wrong. Instead of seeing that his poor choices and behaviors are the root of their problems, he finds fault with his wife. Believing that the other person is wrong, rather than looking inside and doing the work necessary to clean up your mess, is basic psychology 101. In Brad's case, he just doesn't know how to look inside. They don't offer self-improvement or relationship advice on Top Chef or his favorite crime shows. However, the thought may have occurred to him that if he had read that personal development books his buddy Scott read, he might have learned about ways to change negative habits. Unfortunately for Brad, the small choices he made on a daily basis created a ripple that wreaked havoc on every area of his life. So I want you to think about what I just read and see how you can take a deeper look into your choices that you're making, whether it's food, alcohol, social activities, or even the way you treat the person that you are intending on spending the rest of your life with, and see how you can make changes and really take a deep look at the things that you may think are mundane or routine, and see what small changes you could make, or even if changing 5 or 10 minutes of your day, to see how you could improve your life. Because I'm telling you, over my life, I made lots of bad choices, and I was able to turn it around in what may seem like a long time to you, but for me, it's only been 32 months since I joined Team Beachbody. I joined with no intentions of becoming a coach, no intentions of doing anything other than being able to fit in a pair of pants more easily. I wasn't even trying to get a six-pack, and I look at where I've came and how I've been able to change the way that I viewed myself, and I've been able to build very strong, genuine friendships and be able to let go of toxic relationships and improve the ones that I have. And it's made me a better wife and a mother and a person. And I hope every day to inspire at least one person. And if I don't, that's fine, because I have become happy with who I am. And I finally feel like a mom and somebody that my kids can be proud of, and that I hope that our relationship that we have really restored over this last summer of being at home continues to just get stronger. And I hope that I give somebody hope to start making the changes that are necessary to have a better life. Have a wonderful day.